are you gonna be mad at me when you about to marry my ex? Hey book loves, my name is Marquita Lachey XO. If you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you'll know every time I post a new video. Make sure you like, comment as well, because I want to talk to you guys and I want to hear your thoughts and I want to have a conversation with you. So don't be scared to comment. I will comment back to every single comment, okay? So today is my February wrap up. I am going to tell you guys right now, I did not stick to my TBR.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I did not stick to my TBR, guys. I did not. I wanted to, but then I realized I'm a freaking mood reader, and I just couldn't do it. I was not in the mood for most of them books that I picked this month at all. So I still have some exciting books that I read, some great books, some 5-star reads, and some 3.5 reads as well that I read. And I'm just so ready to get into this with you guys today. But first, I would like to know, how was your reading this month? Did you hit your goal for this month? Did you stick to the books that you wanted to read this month? Please let me know in the comments. I am so excited to see where everyone is at. So we're going to get started now. So one of my first physical copies that I read this month is Magnolia freaking Parks. Now, I thought that I was going to love this book, but I didn't know that I was going to love it as much as I did. And now I am like on a whole train. If you haven't saw, I am on a train of trying to read this entire series, the Park Universe series. I am so excited about each book. I am only still on the second book. I'm trying to get done with this. I really wanted to be done with the second book before I did my wrap up, but it wasn't going to happen, I could tell. So I did get done with this one, and it was so good. So Magnolia Parks is about Magnolia and BJ. They have a very toxic back and forth relationship. If you you have to like you a slow burn to like this book. And I'm not particularly interested in slow burns. That's not my cup of tea all the time. I really don't like when they're too slow. Like, get to it. I want y'all together already. And this is not that book, okay? So Magnolia and BJ, they have a complicated relationship. They've known each other since they were kids. They have been together. Something is going to cause so many rifts in their relationship, if you can even call it a relationship, honey. I don't know if this is a relationship, but they love each other so badly. So bad. You have got to read this book, guys. You really do. And I love how the author has conversations through this book. It kept my attention the whole time because of how the author writes. Like, she is having a conversation the whole time. I love seeing the inner thoughts of each character, and the dialogue is so beautifully written. And how she describes things in this book is just so freaking interesting. I don't know, like, she is so descriptive with her words. You're feeling what the character is feeling all the way. Like, you know exactly how that character is feeling right then by how she describes what they are feeling. You have got to pick up this book. You got to. But I rated this 5 stars. Yeah, you already knew it. Okay. I did talk about this book. I have talked about Twisted Love. I think this was my first book that I read for the month of February. So I'm not going to make this too long, but you already know that this book is about Ava and Alex. And Alex is Josh's best friend, which is Ava's brother. So Ava's brother is Josh, and Alex is Josh's best friend. So Josh is going away. He's going abroad, and he asks his best friend to watch over his sister while he is gone. This guy, Alex, is so mean, moodless, as they say. Moodless, doesn't really care for anything or anybody. He's just like in his own way, kind of grumpy all the time. So you can guess where this is going. He ends up watching her, and things things transpire. But I'm going to say I really didn't feel this book as much as I thought I would, just because I feel like there was a lot of missed opportunity with Alex's uncle. Just, I kind of had pretty much figured out exactly what was going to happen in this book. And I don't like a predictable book. So I knew what I was looking forward to when he had a twist. I knew what that twist was. So it's a cute book. I was able to read it. I smiled a couple of times. It was cute. I liked it. I think I rated this a 3.5. Yes, I rated this a 3.5 because it was just okay. I wouldn't read it again, but it's good. I'm really looking forward to the rest of the series though, because I heard it's a lot better. Next is, oh my gosh, Only for the Weak by Natasha Bishop. I literally ate this book up. This is a complete page turner. I absolutely love all the characters. I love the character development. It is a beautiful story. It's gonna put you in there from the beginning of the page. Okay, so this story follows Janelle and Rome. They are going on a wedding trip because her sister is marrying her ex. You hear me? Her sister is marrying her ex. But guess what? Her sister is mad at her. How are you going to be mad at me when you're about to marry my ex? That makes no sense, dude. Like, that makes no freaking sense. But you are going to get to follow along. And Rome is the ex's friend. Okay? So they meet up. Where are they? So this is a destination wedding. They are in Tulum. And they are all in a group setting, but she gets to talking to Rome. You get to see her and Rome's relationship development, as well as see how she develops solo as a character, because she does not speak up for herself at all. She lets her family run over her, and Rome is there to help guide her and also be there for her during this time. And he is like the best book boyfriend I have read so far. Like, he is like, be selfish with me, take it all out on me. It is so sexy, okay? Like, this book is just so realistic to me, because the family dynamic of having to deal with always being in the shadow of your family and having to take from them, and not realizing that you need to stand up for yourself. Whether you lose family members, you have to stand up for yourself. You do. You cannot let family run over you just because they're family. And this book depicts that light. This book shows light on that subject. And I absolutely love that for her. I love her character development. Janelle. I rated this 5 stars. Go get it. Only for the Weak by Natasha Bishop. And she also has a bonus scene on her website for the ending, and it's so cute. That is all my physical copies that I read this month. Now we're going to get into my audiobooks that I read. So the next book that I read was Butcher and Blackbird. Now, in the beginning of this book, I wanted to put it down. I was about to DNF it. I heard that if you read the audiobook, it's supposed to be better than the physical book. So I was kind of excited about listening to it. At first, I could not get into the characters at all, but it did take some time. I felt like the beginning was a little bit slow. So, but now though, now I am completely into Rowan and Salone's love story, okay? Now, the only thing that got me is because, okay, this is about serial killers, correct? So there's so many triggers at the beginning of this book that I'm thinking, okay, I need to watch out for myself. Like, this is really going to be creepy, scary. Like, it's going to frighten me, because I'm not into thrillers or suspense like this. So I'm like, is this going to be like making me look over my shoulder? Is it going to be suspenseful? Is it going to creep me the freak out? But it didn't do that. So I think that I read the genre wrong, because I didn't realize that this was mostly a romance. It's just a funny, comical, banter type romance. I just didn't realize that this was pretty much a romance with some chop in there. You know, so I was like, this is about Rowan and Salone. They meet. They're both obviously serial killers. He kind of saved Salone from a tricky situation that she mistakenly got herself in. After that, they end up talking as friends, and they realize they want to continue to talk to each other, but they don't really trust each other like that. So they's like, okay, we're gonna do this game once a year where we compete for the person that we're going to chop, where whoever wins, pretty much is the winner. And sometimes they will add a little twist in there, and then that person will get something for winning. But they just love the competition of the game and getting to that person first, and that will give them the opportunity to see each other again once a year. Now, this is a complete slow burn because guess what? They only see each other once a year, but they do text over that time, and you get to see their connection really grow each year. And it's just such cute things that are happening in between that time, because they are both wanting to talk to each other more, but they don't know how to go about it. So they're doing cute stalkerish things throughout these scenes. The banter is hilarious. It's a very comical romance, and it is also emotional at the same time, because there's parts where you get to see the characters unfold before your eyes and see what their deepest fears are, what makes them sad. You're going to see them heartbroken. You're going to see them scared, even though they do this for a living. Like, it's crazy. But when Rowan, this book ended up being so smutty to me. Like, Rowan is so freaking nasty, okay? If you have not read this book yet, you need to. You gotta get past the first part, and it's gonna be great. I cannot wait until Leather and Lark comes out, because I'm so excited to read it. So, next book that I read on audio, Love and Other Things by Christina C. Jones. I absolutely love this author, Christina C. Jones. She's a Black author. The first story follows Tara and Chris. Tara was dating this horrible guy who was cheating on her. She meets this FBI agent who comes to her house because he is here to tell her about the guy that she used to date was basically a scammer. So their relationship bonds over that moment. They end up seeing each other again and again and again, and you can guess what's going to happen. But these are just cute little stories, okay? It's a heartwarming but heartbreaking at the same time, because each character has to go through pretty much horrible phases in their life to get to the love of their life. So, first story follows Terry and Chris. Second story follows Devin and Val. Val is used to, talking to different men, not ever settling down, and so is Devin. What gets me in this story is in the beginning of the first story about Tara and Chris. Devin was a complete playboy, but when they got to their story, Devin and Val's story, I feel like he was ready to settle down when they got to his story, but they never showed his character growth to get to that point when he was never ready to settle down. So they both weren't supposed to be ready, but somehow it turned around and he was ready to settle down, but Val wasn't. And so you have to go through their story to find out what happens, or why Val doesn't want to settle down, what mental issues she has going on. And there is a little bit of SA in that part. It is a little heartbreaking in certain ways. It is a little emotional in that story. So I just didn't like that they didn't give him enough character development, that they didn't show it. But I'm guessing it's because it was a short story and they kind of had to get to the point. And the last story is about Kristen and Jackson. Now, Kristen is married at this time, and you in the beginning will think from the beginning of the first story that she is happily married, but in this story you get to find out that she actually isn't happily married, and all of the difficulties that she is facing in her marriage and how her husband really is. And then she meets this guy named Jackson on a work trip, and you get to see things unfold there. So it's 3 cute stories with great meaning, so you should definitely check it out. I rated this one a 3.5 just because of the character development, and it was just cute stories. It wasn't something that I would just go pick up again. It had a great meaning to it. It was cute. I liked it a lot, but that's it. Okay, next is Remember the Time by Tay Monet. Now, I think this is my first time. It might be my first time listening to this author or reading her books, and I was captured by the synopsis of this story. It's a man who is with his fiance, and then they're together one minute and the next minute they're not. She disappears, and I was thinking completely different. I thought she literally vanished because it didn't really give enough detail. So I'm like, okay, she was there one day, y'all doing good, y'all happy, and then she just happens to disappear. But this story follows Zachary and Noelle. They are currently pregnant in the beginning of this book, and they are planning on getting married. And then they have a horrible car wreck that changes both of their lives forever. As you know, Noelle vanishes. He knows who she's most likely with. So the story does shine light on family dynamics again, which I really like, and about how overbearing your parents can be sometime, and where they're not actually looking out for your best interest. So I like that. I like that these characters had to stand up for themselves. Get to see her family dynamics play out, and it is so heartbreaking to see her family how her family plays out, and how her family doesn't understand how much they hurt her. And I really enjoyed this book. Now there are parts that I didn't like. I felt like the story was a little bit drawn out, and like the girl was going in circles and circles and circles. Like, you've gotten these answers, you found out what's going on. Why are you still acting like this? Like, you don't know what is going on right now. So I didn't like that. I just feel like the story was overdrawn. But that's the only thing that's the reason why I rated it 3.5. I feel like there was no character growth in here at all. But overall, it was a good story. Now, I read this very short story on Kindle Unlimited called Work Husband by Octavia Grant. And I was in complete shock when I read this book. If y'all have not seen my short, like, bro, I was not expecting this at all from this book. This story follows Crystal and Lamar. Lamar is her work husband. They are obviously having an affair because she's married. And like, you go from smutty relationship getting down and dirty, to her being crazy, to freaking chop, okay? Or like, yeah. And I'm like, really? You had to go that far? I'm still in disbelief of this story because things escalated so quickly. I'm like, girl, you are completely delusional. You are Delulu. You really are, Crystal. You are freaking Delulu. And her husband is a cheater too. So that plays into a lot of details in this book. And guess what? Lamar is a cheater as well. So it's a lot of cheating. This book has a lot of cheating, a lot of toxicity, a lot of crazy, a lot of delusion. It's short. I think I read this in like 30 minutes. Like, just go read it. I don't even think I gave this book a rating because it was just like, what the did I just read? All right, the last book that I read is The Teacher. I listened to this on audiobook. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm not a thriller girly. I'm not a thriller girly at all. I don't do thriller. I don't like people creeping up behind my back. But I read this because this is by Frida McFadden. I really have enjoyed hearing so many good recommendations about her, and I really want to try out one of her books, and I think this is a new book that just came out, so I was really happy to read it. And let me tell you, this book did it. This book absolutely freaking killed. I did not expect anything that happened in this book. It kept my attention the whole time. I couldn't wait to read more and more and more. Even my husband started reading with me. He started listening when I was like, what you listening to? Because it's that freaking good. It keeps you in there the entire time. So this story is about a teacher. Her name is Eve. We have Addie, and we have Nate. So Eve is the school teacher. Nate is her husband, the school teacher's husband. He is also a teacher at the school. And then we have Addie, a teenage girl who goes to school at the same place that they teach. This story, like, I don't even know what to say. I'm trying to, I don't want to give no spoilers on this, but okay, in the beginning of the book, you're going to see that the teacher is burying somebody. Okay, this story has so many twists and turns. Eve has what it looks like a great life because she has a husband, Nate. He is a phenomenal looking man. They just keep talking about his appearance and how great he looks and how everybody would absolutely eat him up at school if they could. So him and her go to school, but they have a very strict routine at home, and she would love more from her husband. So they go to school every day, stick to their plans. Now, Addie is a troubled girl. She has a bad scandal. She has a bad scandal going on at school about her getting a teacher fired. And they all just collide. I can't even say what I want to say. Like, she ends up being in both of their classes. They both deal with her in different ways. But Eve is kind of on to Addie a little bit. She's like, I know more than you think I know. Like, she don't be taking that girl as, oh, I'm just this little girl who that wouldn't hurt her soul. She's like on to her about stuff. Like, she's watching her. She has her eyes on Addie because she's already mad that she got the teacher that she found cool fired. Like, that was like her mentor, and he got fired because of Addie, the teenage girl. So Eve does not like Addie. Addie does not like Eve. It's a lot. But the ending is what got me. I did not expect the ending. Like, I need people to talk about this book with. I wish I could talk a little bit deeper, but I'm just like flabbergasted. I'm so surprised at what happened in the end. But these are all my books that I read. That is obviously a 5-star read. These are all the books that I read in the month of February. I think it was a great month. I cannot wait to see what next month has in store. If you like these books, let me know. Let me know if you read them. Like, I need somebody to talk about the teacher with. Like, I don't even read these type of books, but I think I'm going to be picking up more Frida books. Like, she got me. And I wasn't even like scared. I was more in suspense. So I really liked that. Oh, this has been such a great month. I'm so glad I got to talk to you guys today. I love you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more. Let me know what you want to see. Have a great day. Mwah!